Hello, welcome to another episode of the Mental Motivator. I am your host, Uzziah Campbell, and as always, I am so excited to have all of you tuning in from around the world to witness stories of ordinary people who have used the power of their mindsets to defeat the odds and achieve extraordinary success. Now, today's guest is lighting the pathways to wellness one candle at a time. But before I introduce him, I want you to take a second to look at this video.
My name is Uzziah Campbell. I'm 12 years old and I am the founder and CEO of Common Cure Candle Co. One of the reasons I started Common Cure Candle Co. is because of my mom. She was dealing with mental illness.
I was pulled out of work due to being assaulted. That is what led to me being diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety and depression. The psychiatrist, she gave me some suggestions on different natural things that I could do to help. Meditation was one of them. Using essential oils was another one.
We had a lot of essential oils in our basement because of my mom's mental illness, and she always loved candles. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna make candles with these. Before I started making the candles, I did a lot of research and watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I learned that different scents help people feel different ways.
You might have seen a familiar face. If you haven't realized by now, today's guest is Uzziah Campbell, and he is my son. Uzziah, tell the world a little bit more about you and what it is that you do.
My name is Uzziah Campbell. I am a freshman in high school. I'm a student athlete. I'm the founder of Common Cure Candle Co. And my goal when I first started my company, and still is, to try and calm the world.
Your goal is to calm the world. And you've been in business since you were 10 years old, and now you are 15 years old. So how close have you come to achieving your goal?
I don't feel I'm close enough yet because there's still a lot of things happening and people acting crazy out here. But once I feel that I've done enough and helped enough people calm down all over the world, that's when I can say that I'm close enough to achieving my goal.
Awesome, awesome. Well, as long as you can help one person at a time, one day at a time, you'll get there. And your dream is huge. To calm the world will take some time, but I think you're well on your way, and I'm proud. So I want to get into a few questions about what made you choose candles.
I chose candles because I saw you dealing with mental illness, and I saw a lot of people around the world when Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd got killed. They were looting and protesting, but they weren't protesting the right way. They weren't protesting peacefully.
Yeah.
And when I saw you dealing with mental illness, I saw that you liked candles ever since I was little. You've always been burning candles. And since you were dealing with a lot of those mental illnesses, you bought a lot of essential oils. And since they were just sitting in our basement, I was like, hey, I can do something with these essential oils.
And y'all know I had thousands of dollars worth of essential oils because, as Uzziah said, and as many of you may know, I did deal with mental illness. I was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And Uzziah was able to take his dream to try to help me heal. And he started with my essential oils that were in the basement. And so tell them a little bit about how that started, how the candle company came about, and what got your candles out there into the world.
What got my candle company started was I told you that I wanted to, well, since my candles helped you heal, I told you that I wanted to help other people, since I know that if you were dealing with mental illness, a lot of other people were. And so I went outside and I played basketball, and I came back inside and I told you that I wanted a candle company called Common Cure Candle Co. And then we started making candles in the kitchen on our stove with the little wax melter, the little
A little bitty
melting
pot.
pot.
We didn't even have a wax melter
Yeah,
yet.
we had a pot, pouring it into random jars we found, and then we sent them out to first responders, and they were sending me back emails saying, Uzziah, this has helped me so much after work. It's just keeping me so calm. And so we were like, we might as well make a business so we can help so many more people.
Awesome. Awesome. Right. Uzziah used to make 7 candles a batch on the kitchen stove. And it got to the point to where our neighbors were cleaning out their empty candle jars from Bath and Body Works, their Glade candles and soap, their mason jars for jelly. They were cleaning all of these jars out and they would leave them on our front porch, because they had all heard about this young kid in the area who had been filling up these candle jars and passing them out to the world. And they just wanted to help him continue his dream. And since I was dealing with mental illness and the word was getting out, then they were trying to help me out as a single mom by providing him with those candles. So how hard is it? Is it tough being a business owner and an entrepreneur? You said you were a student athlete. You just started your first year in high school, and you have to run a business. You have to make candles, ship packages, like not the average kid. So how hard is that? Is it hard to balance all of those things?
It's hard to balance because I'm at school from 7 to 3, and then I have to come home and go to work, and I barely have time to balance all the other things I have to do, homework, eating, social time, just relaxing. The only time I really have time to
Playing
relax.
video games?
Playing my video game. Only time I really have time to relax is when I'm in the shower and when I'm going to bed. So it's hard, but that's why we have 2 days on the weekend to just kind of cool down and prepare for the next week.
Well, you are learning early, my young king, because guess what? When you get out of high school, it's going to get a whole lot worse. It's going to get a whole lot worse. And so before we go to a break, I just want to ask you just one more question. We've already talked about how you're able to balance all these different things that you do. Homework, schoolwork, chores, you have to eat, you have to shower. How do you feel your mental health or your mindset plays a role in such a young kid at 15 being able to get all of those things done? Like, what is it mentally that you tell yourself to inspire you to get all of this done?
Well, to balance it, I just tell myself that, well, I have to go out there and work because I have to help someone stay calm today. And then I have to balance school because, I mean, that's my future.
Right.
So I have to make sure that I'm staying on that. And, you know, stress, it gets to you, but you can get past that.
Right, right. Well, I think that's amazing. And I think it shows the love that you have for the work that you do. I think it shows your passion to be able to say, I have to go out here and work. And you didn't say, I have to go out here and work because I want to make money, or because I want new shoes, or I have to pay for my own video games. You said, I have to go out here and work because I have to help somebody keep calm today. I have to help another person. And that speaks volumes to who you are and who God has created you to be. Right after this break, we're going to come back with more from Uzziah.
What do we want? Justice! Black lives matter!
With racial unrest in America,
and cases are now rising in the President of the United States in quarantine.
21 with peak COVID numbers.
And as COVID devastated the world,
It's an amazing feeling.
a 12-year-old boy had a dream.
And I was saying to myself that I want to calm these people down and help them be happy during this horrible time.
Last year, Uzziah Campbell started his own business, Calm and Cure Candle Co., hoping to help the struggling.
I really feel like that I've helped some people calm down and be happy during an unhappy time.
All right, guys, and we are back with Uzziah Campbell, the founder of Calm and Cure Candle Co. So, Uzziah, you mentioned earlier that you started making candles because you had a dream to calm the world after you began making candles for me, because you saw me struggling with mental illness. And I want to ask you a few questions about that. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
So as you saw me struggling with mental illness, I want you to be honest and tell the world, what was that like for you?
For me, it hurt to see you down like that. When you were sad, when you were angry, when you were depressed, it hurt. So I was helping around the house, trying to do things for you, just to try to cheer you up. But I know that mental illness is a big thing, and I know that I couldn't just help it go away. So I tried my best to help you stay calm. So that's why I started making candles, just help you stay calm and help you at least be happy for the moment.
And you definitely did that. You definitely did that. So you said that it hurt to see me having to struggle, feeling sad, feeling down, going through what I was going through. And there was one time in particular, and you also mentioned having to see me being angry. And there was one time in our lives in particular that I remember you were going to take a shower. And for whatever reason, I can't even remember right now, I was upset and I came into the bathroom and I yelled at you, and you were in the corner of the bathtub, and the look that you had on your face, it just broke me down. And I yelled and I was saying, "Why are you crying?" And you said, "Because I'm afraid of you now." So how did that feel for you, living in fear of your only parent? Because I had become angry, I had become ugly, I had become the mom that you were not used to. How did that fear feel for you, and what were you able to do to help yourself cope with that?
You know, it was just something I wasn't used to because I've never seen you like that. And so I was just coping with it. I would just take my mind off of it, and I would just go to my friend's house or just go outside and play basketball or just play my video games and just try and help me keep my mind off of it.
Yeah. And if I never said I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Because I know that that had to be such a hard time for you. Even to go to school and have to hide the way you probably felt from your friends, your teachers, and everybody else who was around. But I thank God so much every day that the situation that you and I were in, with me as your only parent, I've been your only parent since you were born. And I thank God that you were able to take the pain from that situation and put it into this candle company. You were able to take that pain and turn it into purpose and turn it into passion and perseverance to push through life. And now you can be an example for so many other young children and so many teens and adults around the world to take their pain and do the same thing. And so, how has it felt for you at 15 years old, watching everything that I went through, having to take care of me, having to help around the house? How does it feel for you having to live with only one parent throughout your entire life?
It feels, to me it feels normal because I've never felt what it's like to have two parents. There's things that I've probably missed out on because I've really haven't had a dad in my life, but just have to be grateful that I at least have a parent in my life that takes care of me, and just have to be grateful.
You are such a strong kid. Y'all, this is my son, but we don't sit around and really have a lot of talks about life because as you can see, Uzziah is an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. And as the only parent, when you're a single mom or a single dad, a lot of times you do miss out on time with family because you're working so hard to be that breadwinner, to make sure that the family has a roof over their head, food on the table, clothes on your back, and all the other things that comes with that. So you've started this amazing candle company. Tell everybody who is watching about some of the success that you've been able to have, even through all the pain, through all of the fear. Your hard work definitely paid off for you, especially in the first 5 months of you owning a candle company. So before I give it away, why don't you talk to the world about some of your most significant accomplishments that you think you've had since owning your own candle company?
Some of the success that I've had, I've won Changemaker of the Year. In my first 5 months of owning a candle company, I made $100,000.
Right. He made over $100,000, y'all. He being modest, but keep going.
I got an award by Phi Beta Sigma. I've been on all kinds of news stations, and I'm just grateful that I've had all these opportunities and gotten all these awards, and all these people are just knowing who I am and loving what I do.
Right. All these people know who you are. And I remember when you started your candle company, we were on a walk. It was actually called Run with Maud after Ahmaud Arbery had been killed. And on his birthday, I believe it was his mom who wanted everyone to get out and do this run in honor of her son, since he had been killed while he was out for a run. Now, Uzziah and I was walking. We wasn't running 5 miles. We was walking. So we walked all the way down to your elementary school and all the way back home. And I honestly thought that when he started telling me that the whole world is going to know my name, I just thought he was hot and bothered from that long 5-mile walk that we were on. But my young king said the whole world is going to know my name. And he spoke it into existence because, as he just said, all these people are knowing who I am, and they definitely are. So how many countries, speaking of how many people knowing who you are, how many countries have your candles reached so far?
My candles have been all over the world. I've been to Guam, China, so many places. I don't even know an exact number right now, but they're just all over the place, and I'm thankful for everyone who has ordered. I know we've been in Canada, in England.
You probably don't know because your mom keeps up with all the back end stuff, but his candles have actually reached 15 other countries and every single state in the United States. So I think for a 15-year-old entrepreneur, you've definitely made your mark in the world. And so many people know you. And even if you weren't my son, I would be amazed. I would be in awe as probably everybody else who's watching. It's probably as everybody else who's watching. So what are some of the things that you love to do? If you weren't making candles, what would you be doing?
I would probably focus mainly on basketball or some kind of sport, because I've always been into sports. I've played soccer, football, basketball, and I was pretty good at all of them. So I feel like if I wasn't making candles, I would probably be a full-time athlete.
Awesome, you'd be a full-time athlete. Yeah, I would love to see you running up and down the basketball court or the football field, because I'm that mom. I'm that mom that screams and yells. And when Uzziah was, every single time I saw him running for a goal in soccer or a touchdown in football or running to the basket to make that layup, guess who was running down the sideline screaming? He definitely knew his only parent was at the game because I made sure that he could hear me. And right after this break, we'll come back and we'll wrap it up with the young candle king, Uzziah.
Are you ready to inspire the world with your story? Visit us at thementalmotivator.com and schedule a consultation to be our next guest.
So Uzziah, we've talked about you and your mission for Calm and Cure Candle Co. to light the pathways to wellness one candle at a time, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so is there anything else that you do outside of selling candles that helps you to come closer to achieving that dream?
Yes, so at the end of each year, I donate my earnings, 10%, to a mental health organization.
To mental health organizations here in the United States,
in Africa,
just all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
All around the world. So as Uzziah stated, he donates 10% of his earnings from Calm and Cure Candle Co. to mental health organizations around the world. And you said Africa. I do believe that Africa is the furthest place that we've donated to. Yes. Right. To help women in Africa to overcome depression. Because the company that we partnered with, they believe that if a woman is healed, then her entire family can be healed. This company in Africa, Strong Minds, believes that if they can heal the women in Africa of depression, their kids will do better in school, their husbands will be happier at work, and everyone around them in their community thrives. So I think, like James Brown said, this is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. And Strong Minds is doing the work with help from people like you in your business, Calm and Cure Candle Co. I'm so proud. So if there might be a kid out here who wants to start a business, but maybe they're having struggles because their parent is dealing with mental illness, or maybe the kid feels, oh, I'm too young, I won't be able to live such a big dream. Or maybe they're just in fear, maybe thinking that they're not good enough. If you can give a child somewhere who is watching a piece of advice to start a business that's gonna make them 6 figures in the first 5 months, what is a piece of advice that you would give to that child who's watching?
Just take a chance. If your parents are dealing with mental illness, use them as the fire to your enthusiasm to the idea. You've probably heard the saying, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I really believe that. So just take the chance and do what your heart desires.
Just do what your heart desires. And wait a minute, because he just said something really profound. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's amazing. That's amazing. For anyone who is out here watching today, who may want to purchase a candle or learn more about your story, tell our viewers how they can learn more about you.
You can find me on Instagram at CalmandCure_candles, on Facebook at Calm and Cure Candle Co., or you can email me, calmandcurecandles@gmail.com.
And your
and
website?
My website is calmandcurecandles.com.
Awesome. calmandcurecandles.com, or you can find them on Instagram or Facebook. And you guys, this interview today was really special for me because I love to give a platform to entrepreneurs, thought leaders, creatives, artists, and so many others to tell their stories of the traumas they've dealt with in life and how they've been able to turn that pain into purpose like Uzziah and defeat the odds to achieve extraordinary success. I hope Uzziah's story today has inspired you to find your own success story, has empowered you to use the power of your mindset to overcome the obstacles that you face in life. And ultimately, I hope that his story has encouraged you to change the way you live, think, and thrive. Until next time, peace out.